Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm sharing about our homeschool checklist system and using checklists versus planners and why I'm using it for this particular part of our homeschool year and time in our lives. And I'm gonna try to make it short and sweet because I know you guys have been waiting for this. I accidentally teased it too early and then I wasn't able to film the video for just various reasons. So we're gonna jump right into it. If you are new here, welcome to my channel. Thank you for stopping by. My name is Abby and I am a homeschooling mom of 5 kids, 4 of whom are currently in school. 1 is a little bit too young still. So my kids who I'm homeschooling at the moment are in 1st grade, 4th grade, 7th grade, and 9th grade. And this is the system that we are using currently to plan our schoolwork and complete our days for all 4 of my children. So let's get started. So this is what our checklists look like. I'm gonna try to see if my camera will focus here. I have, we do 4 school days a week right now. Our Mondays are usually either at our co-op out of the house, which means at a park, or we are at our history co-op. So our co-ops alternate on Mondays, but no matter which way you slice it, we're always out of the house on a Monday. So I have 4-day week planned here. Now these came from Canva, but unfortunately it's through the Canva Pro account. So if you don't have a Canva Pro subscription, which it's actually worth the cost in my opinion for as often as I use it in our homeschool and our homemaking, like I put my calendars on, or my menu for the month, I print from there, and YouTube thumbnails and all that. So I love the Pro account. But if you don't have a Pro account, you can always just get on Canva and search for a template, like a checklist planning template. This I have modified. So I took their original template and I will put the name of it down below. It was like beige and green, whatever template. I just searched checklist planner and I don't remember, it wasn't by days of the week. It was like maybe by rooms of the house to clean. Maybe this was a cleaning template originally, or a to-do list, or ideas and thoughts, or something like that. But what I did was I just modified it. This had like a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday up here, and I just changed that to be each kid's name. And then for these little checklist areas, I changed it to the day of the week. And then the other thing is the backgrounds. I change weekly for my kids, so it's fresh and new, but the original template was just like a really pretty kind of neutral pattern in the background. But I use the backgrounds on Canva, or I'll just get on, you know, find some wallpapers online and change the backgrounds for my kids each week, because it's exciting for them to wake up on a Tuesday morning and go to the fridge and see their checklist and see what theme I chose for their little decoration that week. Even my older kids, they love it. So for example, for Easter, I made a little Peeps background for my youngest. Let's see if it's gonna show up here. Before that, she had like a glittery background. My son Jesse, he had a football field background and he had a little bunny with a mustache background. Before that, I made this pretty floral background for Isabella because it almost identically matches the colors on her solo costume, and she got to go to the Elevate competition for her solo, which was like the Dance Moms competition. So she was really, that was her favorite competition that was coming up, and so I made like a little floral background that looked like her solo costume. We have like a fun digital looking one for Eli, just Easter eggs, things like that. Coming up, because we've been going to the beach a lot lately, I have some like sunny backgrounds. So I've got a rainbow for Annie and some sunshine stripes for Eli, and like this looks like waves and these look like shells for my older ones. So simple, but my kids love it and I love creating it for them each week. And honestly, like knowing that they're gonna expect me to change the theme each week keeps me accountable to actually creating these checklists each week. So the reason that I switched from them using their planners to them using checklists is just, well, there's a few reasons. First of all, we're at the point in our school year where we're, as many of you may be, we're trying to get a lot more of that, getting more ahead in our books, like our independent work versus our family subjects. And so with 4 kids in 4 different grades, most of their work is independent outside of our family subjects. They're not really grouped together that much. And so I like to just have a list there for them so they know what things to get done, and it helps keep things moving. most of you probably have been in this situation that I'm in right now where they wait for me. And because I have a toddler right now, because I'd like to get my workout in the morning sometimes, and it's not an ideal time of day, they'll just be waiting for me, or they'll get off track, or, you know, we just had spring break and everyone's used to slower mornings now that quickly. And so having the checklist gives them something that they can visually see. Okay, I can be doing this. They'll always remember their handwriting and their math, but outside of that, they're like, what are we supposed to do today? And so having the checklist each day helps them visualize what they can be doing when mom's not available. And so our morning time, where we typically on a perfect day sit down between like 8:30 and get our morning time started, with having a toddler right now and trying to get a little bit of extra work done, we aren't really starting that until closer to lunchtime now, but it's okay because they have these checklists and they're able to get moving on their independent work. They also can visualize where else other kids need me that day. So they can see, you know, how to utilize my time as well. A lot of times they'll just think like, Mom, are you gonna do the spelling lesson with me? Are you gonna do the spelling lesson with me? And they won't realize that I'm in the other room because I'm working on a science project with someone, or I'm teaching a reading lesson with somebody. So it also helps them see what other kids have to do and that they need to manage their time well, and ask me when they're ready for a certain subject as well. Although I do try to like kind of pace out our subjects as much as possible so it's consistent. So it helps everyone get going. The first reason that I really want to do this is just because I'm trying to get my toddler on a schedule, and this system just helps everybody stay on track while I'm working with her on using her big girl bed and using the potty and all the things that come with having a toddler, trying to get her nap time more consistent, trying to get her breakfast, you know, trying to not have a picky eater, you know, just all the time that it takes to work with a toddler versus a baby, where I could just throw her in the ergo on my back and keep moving through school. Things are a little different. She needs a little bit more attention, and she wants me to play with her, and she should have my attention in that way. So it helps everyone stay on track. The next reason we moved to this system versus planners, and we've used planners for years and really love that, but I used checklists in the past and it always helped my kids manage their own time. But now something that my husband asked of me is just to be able to see what we are doing each day, especially because our older kids have more work. And by the time he comes home, obviously none of us even know what we did that day, or maybe there's frustration and you know, we can't even articulate it at that point because it's been such a long day. That helps him see whether everyone did their work, whether, you know, their extracurriculars are too much on their schedule or not, based on how much they're able to get done during the day. We always want to manage those things well. And so him seeing, okay, they completed their whole checklist, their course load is appropriate for their age, and he knows what to ask them questions about. And it was just a request by him to help him stay kind of connected to our homeschool now that our older ones are getting a little bit more independent the older that they get, and so that he knows, you know, I'm not the only one who can tell them what was done that day anymore, and so he can get a visual of what all they did, what all they're doing, and know how to communicate with them about that. So it's helped him stay more connected to our homeschool. It's displayed on our refrigerator so everyone can see it. I actually wrote notes down about this because I asked on Instagram kind of what you guys wanted to know about this system, because once I shared it on a day in the life a couple weeks ago, everybody was interested. So it also gives me a gauge on what they can get accomplished in a day, because I can see what doesn't get checked off one day. I'll kind of carry that over to the next day, and it helps me just see each kid individually and what they're able to get done. It also helps them pace themselves, which I mentioned. I can fill their workout by the week if I'd like to, you know, put it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and fill in the whole week at a time. But sometimes they get overwhelmed by how much they've got on the agenda for the week when I'm writing every individual small subject down. So it's also sometimes nice to just fill it in by the day. So right now we're toward the end of the school year, and that's what I'm doing. I'm just writing it down day by day, so they only have that day's work in front of them and they aren't feeling behind. If they aren't able to complete reading this chapter for co-op, it's okay. They don't see that they have to read another one tomorrow. I just move it over to the next day and they don't feel like they're getting behind. And so it also helps me in that sense not overschedule if they haven't finished some work. Now, obviously, we're trying to get our work done. We're being diligent to do our work, but sometimes it's just not possible. And so it helps me to not overschedule them. It's fresh and new each week, so it's exciting for them. Like I said, just changing the picture, as simple as that might sound, is a fresh start every single Tuesday when we start our school week, and it's fun and they're all individualized, and it's a nice way to have a new checklist for the week and to just bring a little momentum to the week. This was a question that I got, do I keep these as written record for our portfolios? Yes, I'm keeping all of these and putting them right in our portfolios as written record and a log of what we've done. And yeah, I think that's pretty much everything I wrote down. I'll go over the logistics of it, but it's very simple. Oh, the other reason that I really enjoy using checklists versus planners right now is just because it is like right there out in the open. I can keep track of what everyone's doing. Everyone can see what each other's doing, but also because when we sit down to do our planners, we tend to plan for the whole week ahead. Sorry, I was just saying, I still use my planner to kind of tentatively plan the week out. That's just my personality. I need to know where I plan to plug family subjects in throughout the week on which morning, time, day. On their planners, I just write table time. I don't write, we're doing poetry and we're doing World Watch News and we're doing history and we're doing geography. Like, I don't write all that. I just group it in at our table time. So I still have those specifics written in my planner. But when we're sitting down to write our planners, which I was doing with them on Mondays, we were writing our planners out for the whole week just so they would have a good idea of what was ahead on the schedule. A lot of times that would get disrupted because of life. My girls are competitive dancers. My boys have a lot going on with karate and football and golf and all that. There are all sorts of different solo practices or extra workouts kind of thrown into our week, and my oldest has a very tiny little part-time job, so that kind of gets thrown in the mix a little bit as well. And so using a checklist system has just helped with the flexibility that we need in this season. I really have tried to be flexible over the last few years as my kids have gotten older. Our homeschool is not just dependent on me and my ideals anymore for our schedule. A lot of it is dictated by outside influences now as far as scheduling things, but this has helped with me being able to be more flexible. I was just saying, I had no idea how flexible I would need to be getting into high school here now. When we've got sports at the local high school thrown into the mix, out goes my schedule completely. I had no idea what, and trying to get a job and just kind of trying to spread her wings a little bit. Now she's doing a driver's ed course and she's got her permit and we're driving, and oh my gosh, so many things have changed this year that I just wasn't anticipating to happen all at once. And so we've just needed to move into this checklist style in order to just be flexible but structured at the same time. So this has been a good marriage of flexibility and structure. It's a good visual for everyone, my husband and myself included. I look at it and I can pace them. They look at it and they can pace themselves. I'm making sure I'm not overloading them. They're making sure that they're being diligent to use all pockets of time that they have to get work done. And then my husband is aware of what everyone's doing or not doing. And then he can kind of help us steer the ship here if we're getting off course. So I have really loved using a checklist system, and it's just been a nice way to freshen up the way that we are planning and getting things done. So I have no problem with using planners like we have for the last few years, but with the flexibility that we've needed and just kind of like a visual for everyone to see and for me to like let them be independent so that I can be with our younger ones here and there, it's been a great method. So we still are trying to stick to our schedule, which is morning time in the morning. I work with my younger ones on their independent work or on their group work while my older ones are working on their independent work, and then we flip-flop after lunch. That's the ideal schedule, but very often right now at the end of the year when we've got extra on our plate and with having a toddler who I'm just trying to keep on good schedule, this has been the answer that we've needed. So like I said, I just took this Canva template and I modified it to fit our family, and I will link it down below. If you have a Canva account, then you can access this, but you can just get the free account and just search checklist templates. And Canva is really easy, very user-friendly for somebody who struggles with using any sort of like editing programs and graphic design or anything like that. That's not my style at all. I'm not good at it. I can use Canva. It's great. I can use Canva just fine. It's very user-friendly. So this came from there, but like I said, there's a million other templates that are free. And yeah, so I think that's it. I'm not sure if anybody has any other questions or if anybody would have any other questions. It's pretty straightforward, but I did want to make this video because I knew you guys would be interested after I've shared it here and there. So I hope this answered any questions you had. If you need to change things up this school year just to get the momentum going at the end of the school year, I highly recommend a checklist system. I have a feeling that I will be bringing this back in the fall when we start our school year instead of using student planners. I think it's just for all the different ages that we have and the different subjects and outside activities that we have going on. I think that using this system is going to be the one that's going to fit for us for the time being. So that's what we've got going on here. That is my very simple checklist system and why we are currently using it. If you guys have any other questions, leave them in the comments down below, and I will see you soon. Bye guys.